Chapter 1: A Mansion, a Widow, and a War with the HOA. When I bought my mansion 6 months ago, I thought I had finally found peace. It was a modern glass and steel masterpiece tucked inside an oak-lined subdivision, the kind of place you dream about when your life has been a whirlwind of hotel rooms and security briefings. I'm a cybersecurity consultant. That means I spend more time in airports and server rooms than in my own bed. My wife, Eleanor, passed away 2 years ago, and buying this house was supposed to be a way to rebuild, to find stability. The neighborhood seemed quiet at first glance. Families, retirees, a sprinkling of tech professionals like myself. But there was a shadow over it all. One name whispered with exhaustion and dread: Barbara Clean, the HOA president. They called it the Barbara treatment. She was the type of woman who made it her mission to measure grass with a ruler, glare at trash bins left out for more than an hour, and send passive-aggressive letters about approved mailbox designs. Within a week of moving in, I was on her radar. My sleek Japanese steel mailbox, not HOA compliant. My young Japanese maple tree by the driveway, not native enough. Even the timing of my garbage cans became a crime in her eyes. At first, I laughed it off, but soon her petty fines and notices piled up. It was harassment disguised as governance. Still, I had bigger things on my plate. Chapter 2: The Tokyo Assignment. In May, I landed a major contract in Tokyo. It required me to be gone for a month, May 1st through June 1st. Being responsible, I did what the HOA required. I notified the board of my absence, gave emergency contacts, and secured my property. What Barbara didn't realize was that my house wasn't just a house. It was a smart fortress. 16 high-definition cameras, encrypted server logs, appliance usage trackers, and a monitoring system I had personally designed, something between a smart home and a forensic lab. Halfway through my trip, something pinged my system. The thermostat had changed. My smart fridge logged new groceries. My Plex account streamed shows I'd never watch. I pulled up the internal feeds, and there she was. Barbara, sitting on my leather sofa, feet on my ottoman, drinking scotch from my crystal glasses like she owned the place. Her husband Gary wasn't far behind, lounging like a man who had just won the lottery. Chapter 3: An Emergency Key, a Fatal Mistake. The HOA had a bylaw. In emergencies, the HOA president held a spare key to every house. Most neighbors hated it, but signed anyway. Barbara weaponized it. She didn't just check on my property, she moved in. My cameras recorded her sleeping in my bed, cooking in my kitchen, wearing Eleanor's robe. At first, I was livid. My hands shook. My instinct was to call police immediately. But then, the strategist in me took over. If I acted on raw emotion, Barbara would spin it. She was good at lies. But if I was patient, I could end her reign completely. Chapter 4: Building the Case. From Tokyo, I turned my house into a surveillance command center. Every second of video downloaded, every thermostat spike, every Sonos playlist, every coffee brewed, logged. I even enabled audio recording, one-party consent in my state. The smoking gun came quick. Barbara, on the phone with a friend. "Don't worry, he won't be back until June. We'll be out by the 31st. It's like having our own vacation home." Exhibit A: Proof of intent. 2 days later, even bigger gift. Gary, nervously. "What if he comes back early?" Barbara, coldly. "He won't. I have his itinerary." Exhibit B: Premeditation. I cataloged everything. Scotch bottle levels before and after parties. espresso bean weight drops after cappuccinos, smart toilet usage logs. Ridiculous, yes, but undeniable. Clothing items taken from my late wife's closet. By the time I was done, I had a minute-by-minute timeline of their occupation. Chapter 5. The Trap. I called my lawyer, David Chen. Together, we hatched a plan. We'd let Barbara get comfortable, cocky. Then I'd return 2 weeks early, on May 15th, and let her hang herself. That morning, I flew in quietly. No Uber, no noise. I walked from a block away, recording discreetly on a lapel cam. Through the window, I saw Barbara. In my kitchen, humming, drinking my coffee. When I walked up the drive and inserted my key, she shrieked like a banshee. You can't be here. This is trespassing." Then, unbelievably, she called 911. Perfect. When police arrived, Barbara stormed out, screaming, "This man is breaking into my house. Arrest him." I stood calmly, suitcase in hand. "Officers," I said, "this is my home, ID in my pocket, but let me show you something better." I placed my thumb on the biometric scanner. The door clicked open. Barbara's face drained of color. David, my lawyer, was on speakerphone. He played the recorded call. Barbara bragging about living here, mocking my absence. Neighbors had gathered. The porch was a stage, and Barbara had just written her own script. Gary cracked first, muttering, "Barbara, stop. They know. They have everything." Her empire collapsed right there. The cops cuffed her on my lawn. Chapter 7. The Fallout. The evidence was overwhelming. 16 cameras, appliance logs, server data, her own words. Faced with trial, Barbara pleaded guilty to criminal trespass and theft. She paid restitution down to the last coffee bean. But I didn't keep the money. I donated it to a housing charity. The bigger war was with the HOA. At an emergency meeting, I calmly laid out the evidence. Neighbors who had lived under her thumb gasped as the truth came out. Within an hour, the emergency key bylaw was repealed. The entire board resigned. Barbara was banned permanently from HOA leadership. Chapter 8. Healing and Closure. The hardest part wasn't the legal battle. It was walking into my bedroom and seeing Eleanor's robe crumpled on the floor. Barbara had tried to steal my home, my peace, even my memories, but she failed. Patience, proof, and discipline had won. That fall, the neighborhood changed. The new HOA president, Arthur, a retired professor, rebuilt trust. No more petty fines, no more clipboard tyranny. My sleek steel mailbox returned. The neighborhood exhaled. One evening, months later, I sat on my patio with a glass of scotch. The air was calm. The oak leaves rustled. And I remembered a simple truth. Bullies thrive on fear and silence, but when you fight back with facts, their power collapses. The house once violated was mine again, and Barbara Clean's reign of terror was nothing but a cautionary tale whispered at block parties.